Cloud9 will be playing defense first here on Kings Row, and they are running a Symmetra to start things off. Let's talk about the rosters a little bit. We've got Lucio, Mercy, the standard two that we've seen, as well as Symmetra, so playing with 3 supports, which has really fallen out of favor in this patch so far. Surefour going to stick with McCree, and Reaver is playing Widowmaker, only 1 tank, and that's to bet with Reinhardt. On offense, does look like another fairly standard lineup with 2 tanks, 2 supports, but interesting enough, they have a Zarya as one of the tanks, as well as Reinhardt, and they're playing with their 2 DPS characters are going to be Pharah and Widowmaker. So I like the looks of both of these teams in the early stages here. But Josh, I've been talking long enough. Why don't you take us away?
Sure, as the doors open here, we'll get to see the Reunited team take the field. Basically, they're going to be attacking here on Kings Row for the first game in this best of 5 in the ONOG Invitational Winners Bracket Finals against Cloud9. We've got the compositions, as you just said, but 2Easy actually falling in immediately as the Widowmaker on the offense. It looks like Reaver got the better of that sniper duel. And things that I'm going to be watching are Kai's ultimate charge, as that first teleporter is so important. I'm also going to be watching Unfixed on Pharah, as Pharah tends to be pretty dominant here in Kings Row, especially with Vayutaja as the possible Graviton Surge setup. So Kai still building that ultimate, everyone else basically building ults as well. Got a couple of deaths going the way of the defense, helping them maintain control at that point. No one's going to blow their res just yet. Adam's at about 90%, Mort at about 66%, but now the attackers have a slight advantage. No, he is going to actually use that defensive ult, keep everybody on the point.
Thank you. And one of the things that you have to watch on maps like this, and in general when both teams are running Reinhardt, is the Reinhardt v Reinhardt battles, the metagame, the mind games. You're just constantly trying to hit each other with the fire strikes. Eventually somebody will pull the trigger and just charge each other. But it was Debet who came out on top of the first Reinhardt versus Reinhardt battle. Now Unfixed is coming over to the top to combo with that Zarya ult, but nobody actually dies. Only 2 people now dead on the defending team. Both teams still kind of in the fray, and there is a defensive resurrection, so still only 1 tick taken down on that point. But a nice ultimate, gonna pick up a few and pick up a couple more, so even after that nice resurrection, it's gonna be 2Easy and co. Reunited is gonna be able to pick this up right here.
Yeah, Unfixed
did they even get a teleporter?
So they got a teleporter there right after the barrage killed 3 of them. So Kai popped his teleporter in that small health room right next to the point, and they just surrounded it and killed it. Lucio actually was the one, I believe, to run in and get the kill on that. But Unfixed did not pull the trigger on barrage during the Graviton Surge. He wasn't in a good enough position yet. That actually saved the day, because after the Mercy res, he was right there above them and able to hit all 3 of them. So Unfixed just not getting the chance to use a barrage, then turning it around into a point capture for his team. Really good stuff there. They're going to charge forward here with the offensive sound barrier. Mercy gonna drop that flashbang over the shield of Reinhardt, and Debet falls super quick. No one's actually pushing the payload though. There they go. They need to have this be a very swift push, and then they can set up for a really good chance at the end.
Josh, did you see that play from Cloud9 on defense? As soon as they heard the sound barrier dropped on offense, they did not drop their own sound barrier. Grego has his waiting on deck, but they instead just speed boosted back and away from it, which is a great play. But now it's another incredibly aggressive and interesting play by Reunited. But see, Grego had that sound barrier ready and waiting, and that's going to allow them to weather the storm. Reunited had a huge flank. They speed boosted around from the flanking angle, but Grego had the sound barrier ready, and that's what allowed his team to survive that last engagement healthily, easily. And they may even be able to get an additional pick here, maybe?
Yeah, and this is where teamwork really shines through. The difference between an average player and a really good player are things like positioning and ult coordination. So the fact that we're seeing these ults be held on to some conservative play actually working out for both sides. Unfixed earlier with that barrage, and then Grego with that sound barrier just now. Both teams using very strategic thinking, not just popping them as soon as they're available. Sometimes you do have to do that. Sometimes you're at the checkpoint and overtime is triggered and you have to just let loose. But during this mid-game, it's almost like a chess match with the positioning and the ultimates being used. There's a Deadeye being used from Vayutaja, but Reaver actually gets the snipe on him before he's able to even pull the trigger. That means he's going to lose that ultimate. Earthshatter coming down from Debet. Really good stuff there as he scoops the kill on Mort with that charge and pin as well. There's a defensive res bringing everyone back up, and Cloud9 is going to be in control of this payload for at least another 30-45 seconds.
Yep. So really nice hold so far in the corridors, these tight corridors of Kings Row. One of the most played maps by the competitive community. It's just been stable since the very first days of the beta. We've seen it so many times, Joshy, so many memorable games on this map, so not surprised to see that. But look, Reaver is doing some sneaky crouch walking now as the sniper, but he hasn't actually spotted anyone yet. He will end up just dropping down, so no sniper flanks yet. But Tibet isn't actually in a dangerous position. The ultimate only pulls in Kai though, so that Zarya ultimate kind of wasted there, but still, this could end up going the way of Reunited as they've taken out Tibet, which really has been the backbone of this team.
Tibet used an Earth Shatter there, but didn't actually hit anything. Fortunately for Winghaven, he managed to stay standing a little bit longer, but then the rest of Cloud9 defense just swooped in, and they're starting to get pushed up again. This is something that was kind of scary in previous matches where they pushed up in the face of IDDQD and ended up losing that round, but they ultimately took that series, so I guess who am I to judge? But they are going to back off now. They're not going to make that mistake again. They are going to stay with the payload and not just try to keep them pinned in their spawn for too much longer. There are 5 ultimates available for the offense right now. Let's watch them unfold.
5, oh my goodness, this is going to be mayhem. And only 2 ultimates on defense, but it's both of the support ultimates. So I think they're going to have to pop him here. Yes, Grego does respond with a sound barrier of his own, but Winghaven pushing straight in, but Tibet, he makes the call to dash, and it works. And he's going to be revived too. Valitaja getting 2, Too Easy getting a third. But this is a crazy clash. I don't know who's out on top. It does look like Reunited is edging out just barely.
Yeah, Reunited taking out both the tanks there at the end, leave just the McCree Surefour as the lone defensive member. He's going to hop out of sight, out of that line of sight right there. And I do think that the team should get in position fast enough to contest this once again. Right here at the end of the checkpoint, they need to get those tanks in position, though. Reinhardt and Winston way in the back. Maybe they're not even going to make a play for it as that Deadeye comes out for Valitaja. He finds the kill on Reaver. Though they are going to contest. It hasn't hit the checkpoint just yet. This could be their chance to continue to hold them. Now they have hit the checkpoint.
Oh, but this might also bite Cloud9 in the ass. They got wiped, and now the Mercy might die too. The Mercy's now down on an offset spawn time, so he'll be spawning a couple of seconds after the rest of his team. And Cloud9 is forced into a very awkward position indeed, where they're going to have to filter in as quickly as they can. They definitely need to wait for the whole team to be there, though. The Winston pushes out first, of course, dropping that shield. And I like the positioning of Kai up above. Very safe in that position, staying behind the wall. He's not going to expose himself too much, but going straight for Mort. He wants to take down the Mercy, because that Mercy has a revive. I don't know if he knows it, but it seems like he might, because he is on a warpath to try to take down this Mercy, but Mort able to evade.
It looks like they are prioritizing getting the Widowmaker to back off. Too Easy on Widow. Just keeps getting chased away repeatedly, and then you see Kai turn his attention toward the Mercy. Both high-value targets, of course, that Winston can deal with. There's a Deadeye coming out from Valitaja. He does find Tibet with his shield down. That's a big kill there. Anytime a Reinhardt goes down, now he's actually behind Winston. Barrage going down, and actually Farah manages to stay alive thanks to the quick actions of Mort. I did not think that Farah was going to survive that. Bounce off the edge. Oh my god, Grego just got booped off the edge with the concussive rocket, and that's going to seal the deal. They're going to set a time. Good job to Reunited.
Yeah, Reunited setting a time of approximately 8 minutes. We'll find out exactly what it is here in just a second. Which is a decent time, but certainly beatable by Cloud9 as they switch sides to offense next. And if you are just tuning in for the first time to an Overwatch tournament, welcome. We are on the front page of Twitch, so a whole bunch of new faces coming on in. Welcome, please sit back, relax, enjoy. Join us in chat. Lots of exciting action going on today. And a little bit of just some background on how competitive Overwatch works. One team is attacking here, and one team is on defense. And then you switch sides. So basically the attacking team tries to go through the map as quickly as they possibly can. And then if they're not able to complete the map, either way, if they do or they don't, you still switch sides. And then if they don't complete the map, the team that makes it further in the map, because it is a linear path, will end up winning. If both teams do complete the map, though, the team that completes it quicker will end up taking the map victory. So now Cloud9, I actually, as I was talking, I totally forgot to look at the time.
7:45.
Yep. All right, 7:45 is the time to beat for Cloud9.
Yep, Cloud9 earlier completed this map in about 5 minutes, and that was against another really great European team on the European server. So we'll see if they're able to match that feat. In about 10 seconds, we'll see if Reunited is going to keep this composition. Obviously, Reunited just sped through their matches as well. We're basically saying a butting of heads of two juggernauts from NA and EU finally here in this winners final. And Too Easy is going to be playing the Symmetra this time around, not Winghaven. Winghaven is sticking to the Reinhardt. Actually, I guess Too Easy did stay on Symmetra earlier as well. I remember making that comment that he's normally one of their DPS players, but they're having him stay back for that teleporter duty and the shield duty to get us started here on King's Row.
And guys, I want to remind you that we have a Matcherino donation link up, and there's actually 300 codes for single dollars that you can add for free to the prize pool. All you need to do is enter ONOG as the coupon code on checkout. You don't have to put any of your own money up. If we can raise those $300, we're going to come so damn close to the $600 goal that is on Matcherino right now. We have 2 over $100 donations in there already, so
wow.
Get in there and donate to the prize pool if you want to see this thing bumped up. We set the goal at 600, so let's get in there and make it happen. And Unfixed on defense now playing with not Roadhog. Junkrat, there you go. I don't know why my brain farted right there, but this is a great pick, I think, on this map. You know, you can take down the Reinhardt shield so quickly with Junkrat spam, and there's also all kinds of angles where you can angle the Junkrat grenades off the wall, and they'll land right in the middle of this kind of corridor area. So I do like this pick on defense for sure.
Yeah, Junkrat's one of those characters that can be very difficult to pick up for the first time. His trajectory is a little bit different than basically every other character. His bomb and trap can be very difficult to figure out the best times to use it. But after playing Junkrat for a long time, you get used to the angles, you get used to when you should throw out your mine and your trap, when you should use them to get away from enemy players. And Junkrat suddenly becomes a very difficult, slippery character to kill, and also just very powerful. If you get him, if he gets you inside a corner or something like that, he can trap you and bomb you to death. So Junkrat, not too surprised to see him being picked, but this is actually one of his better points, I think, because of just the sheer number of corners that he can play around and the ledges available to him to be able to run away. If they lose point A, I do imagine that we'll see him switch off Junkrat, but for now he's a good choice. And so far, the only deaths that we've seen are the teleporter. Too Easy losing his teleporter very quickly to Surefour. Good job to Cloud9 to prevent those teleportations from coming in.
Yeah, and if you look at the hero roster for Reunited, it's kind of a little bit more of what we used to expect with previous patches. You've got 3 supports and actually no Mercy in the lineup. So actually Adam was the Mercy for the attacking team, but he's already dead. His res is not going to come into play in this next fight, and Reaver will drop his ultimate, but I don't like that play. They are already down 2 players. There were several other ultimates up for the attacking team, but they're not going to have the fair ult next time that they push.
Yeah,
actually, Reaver
not
switched over
thrilled with that. Kai especially had 90% of his ult built, and the Graviton Surge into Barrage definitely could have made a big difference, but the fact that he used it early is kind of rough for them. He does actually, no, he switched off of Pharah completely. That's why he swapped onto Widow. So that's why he went ahead and dumped the Barrage so he can try to get a kill, but didn't work out for him. Now, though, they are on the point, and Too Easy has dropped another teleporter, so there's that Graviton Surge we were looking for. Sound barriers going off on both sides, though. 2 ticks of point A have been captured, but Too Easy runs in, lasers down Debet very quickly. There's an Earth Shatter from Winghaven catching Pin and knocking Grego skyward, so looks like defense is in firm control, but now a Mercy Res brings back up Debet and Grego there on Lucio, so attackers still could make this happen.
They could, but there's down 2 in this engagement still, and it just feels like they have gotten kind of unlucky. I mean, they've had a lot of decent pushes, and they obviously have great teamwork as a team, but they haven't been able to make really any progress here on the first objective. Well, they have gotten 2 ticks, but they really need to start moving. With a time of 7 minutes and 45 seconds, you know, they still are on track. They still can make it happen. But if they can't get past the first objective, obviously, it's moot point.
All right, they're about halfway through that last tick before Mort and Winghaven move forward. Winghaven scores that kill on Reaver. That's a very valuable pin target for a Reinhardt to hit. Now no one really has to worry about counter-sniping, and they've lost a lot of their offensive power all in one charge.
And the teleporter is up and in action for the defending team. Reunited is filtering back into the fray very quickly here, but very close to getting it now. But Reunited are coming from every angle. As I feel like a broken record, they've been able to do this time and time again. And so many kills going the way of Reunited. And additional wasted ultimates for Cloud9.
Props to Vayutaja there. He was in the Graviton Surge, used the High Noon, and scored 2 kills from inside the Graviton Surge. At least I believe that's what happened. I heard the whistle go off. I didn't know for sure which McCree was using it, but then the kill feed told the story. And Vayutaja and Winghaven, just with that Reinhardt shield up, able to make that happen. Now Cloud9's got 1, maybe 2 solid pushes left in them to try and get this last tick. Here they come.
Vayutaja coming from behind, gonna stun Surefour, but Surefour is still not dead. He's being revived, or being healed by his team, and the kills are starting to go the way of Cloud9 here, as they're now up 4 versus 3 versus 2, and they got it. Yeah, they have it.
They managed to cap A, and now they've got, let's see, about 3.5 minutes left on the board. They capped it with about 1.5 minutes left, so still around 3 minutes to push the whole rest of the way. That's actually not a ton of time.
No, not at all. They have to play very well from here on out, and it's certainly possible, especially with Reaver poking. I'm going to watch Reaver first person and see if he can go for any picks. It does look like there's a Reinhardt shield that's going to basically make this impossible. But Reaver will be flanking from the side. Oh, he sees folks in his crosshairs, able to hit twice, able to hit a third time, but he's collapsed on and dead very quickly. But the payload continues to move. That rotation has pulled Reunited they're not in a great position, so at least the payload has moved very far here.
Yeah, Cloud9 missing Reaver's DPS means that they actually cannot move forward any further until they've got their whole squad. Reaver is back on Pharah now. This is another good position for Pharah. Lots of sky area to work with. You can jump over buildings and surprise your opponents very easily with a nasty barrage. You don't got Graviton Surge on your side anymore, but Kai, as we've seen with his Rage ultimates throughout today, has been very good with those. Surefour with the Deadeye does not get anything done. Debet slams down Winghaven onto the ground, but Winghaven actually scores the better charge there, killing Grego and knocking Debet away. Defense in full control of this payload as Winghaven and looks like Kai battling it out. Kai lays flat to the Winghaven ultimate, and suddenly Cloud9 has more people standing.
This is the thing, Cloud9 right now, and we've said this, I feel like I've said more or less the same thing on this map many times. It is the Pharah that is allowing Cloud9 to dominate right now. Reaver was able to do incredible amounts of damage. I mean, he only just switched to Pharah, but in that life alone, I believe he got 5, 6, maybe even more eliminations over the course of a minute. And you've got to find a way to deal with that Pharah, whether that's bringing out a Pharah yourself, which Infix is now on over to. And here's
Adam and Reaver.
Here we go, Reaver coming from behind. He will have his ultimate in a second. Here it is. Oh, but Unfix stops it.
Man, they were so sneaky. They actually jumped under the map, then launched right back up on the other side, popped that barrage, but they were too slow. They actually got caught, and the barrage did not get much done. However, the defense has been paying attention back at their spawn and not to the payload itself. So now Reinhardt getting squished there, Winghaven getting pinned and killed. There's a defensive Graviton Surge catching 3 members, though, and that could be a big one, but no one, actually only Kai goes down. Debet has a little bit of health left, but he's going to fall as well after using the Earth Shatter, unfortunately, for the attackers. And I think they're going to run out of time here soon.
Yeah, really incredible play by Reaver, but the time is short. They only have less than a minute now to make this happen. The payload is almost there. It is almost there, but it's not quite. They only have about 15 seconds left.
There's a big res from Mort, bringing all the defense back into play again. Those tanks, bringing tanks back from the dead is a huge deal, as you can see, as the defense does wipe out Cloud9. There's the GGs coming out, and Reunited will take the first map here.
GG, indeed. It's all called out. I don't know if we're going to just finish this off or remake. Oh yeah, we should switch on over to NA now. So give us a second to just close out the client. The way that Overwatch works is you actually have to open a brand new different client to switch servers. So we're going to switch things up and get the next game going as quickly as we can. Cloud9 made it so close in the last push there, but they couldn't finish it off, and Reunited takes the first game. So let's switch on over to America and get this going. I do wonder where we're going next.
So just looking back at the map pool, we have Gibraltar, Numbani, Lijiang, and Nepal as the remaining 4 maps. 2 payload to King of the Hill. It will be Cloud9's choice.
Actually, I have some of these guys on NA, but I guess I don't have them on... Oh, wait, yes I do. Never mind.
Yeah, they're taking their time to get over here as well, it seems.
All right, thanks for joining us today. It's the One Nation of Gamers Overwatch Invitational with over $3,000 on the line. It's about 3,300 something right now. Let's refresh that Matcherino to see how much further you guys have bumped it up. $3,365. Thanks to everyone who donated and who's using the code ONOG to add an extra $1 to the tournament for free. Much appreciate you guys hyping this up even more. Already so hype, but you guys are coming in the clutch, making it even more so.
Oh man, my $5 donation got knocked off of top 5? Dang. I don't think anyone's going to beat your $3,000 donation, though.
Hey man, I welcome the challenge.
Wow, Siffle, big contributor. Thanks again, Siffle.
Yeah, huge shout outs to everyone who donated, but special shout outs to the folks who are at the top of the list. Of course, Rhino671 with $105, Siffle with $100, Poppet with $30, and Riox Sinfire with $20. Thank you all.
Alright, looks like Surefour is in a lobby, so I would like to be in that lobby too.
So, I have an announcement, everybody. This is, right now, currently, according to my calculations, the highest viewership any Overwatch tournament has ever had right now. We've got well over 4,500 on the main stream, and then a lot more going on the ancillary streams as well. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We've broken the record. That's been my goal since day one. I know a lot of stuff happened with this tournament in the last couple of days, and even so far as making me consider postponing the whole damn thing. A lot of teams dropped out, a lot of players shifted around, but we've got best viewership ever for any Overwatch tournament to date right now across all of our streams. So thank you guys. We made it. We made it, boys.
We did it. History.
Ooh, Lyric is streaming Overwatch. Maybe he'll host us when he's done. We can get about 23,000 more viewers on the streams.
Oh yeah. That would be pretty beefy.
Sure would, man.
Alright, so our next map is actually going to be Gibraltar. Let's make sure to get Imagine into the lobby.
Yes, sir.
And AlphaCast.
I don't think I have AlphaCast at the moment. Might need to add him. All right, guys. Yep. So Reunited currently 1-0. They were able to take Kings Row in a very narrow, close set. Moving on to game 2, it's going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar that we head to next. So get hype, everybody. Everybody's in the server. All spectators, all players. We should be getting ready in a second. All right, one minute requested for Reunited, so one more minute, guys, and we'll be jumping into the second game. We want to hear from you. Who do you think is going to take this series and move on to the grand finals? Will it be Cloud9 or will it be Reunited? Let us know in chat. Hashtag C9 win, baby. Let's go, NA. Let's go. No bias here. Just NA.
No bias, just NA.
Yeah. Didn't make sense. I don't care.
Reunited, I think, is gonna win. They're just the best.
I mean, you could certainly argue that. I think that they're the favorite, but I'd like to see NA go far in this one. You know, without the super strong IDDQD team sticking together in this one, you know, it's the best chance that, that NA has had.
They're talking about picking sides. Do you know off the top of your head who gets to pick?
I do not know.
All right, we need admin clarification. All right, stick with us just a moment, guys. Nearly ready to begin game number 2.
All right, Cloud9 is ready. We're ready. Is Reunited ready? That's the question. Any second now.
Oh, man.
You know what? I can't wait until we have a LAN tournament so I can
Right.
just walk up to the guys and be like,
Hey,
guys, what's going
hey,
on?
click the button. Hey, click the button.
You already had your bathroom break. Let's keep it moving. The fans are getting antsy.
All right. Here we go. Game number 2.
Gibraltar. I wonder who this map favors. I am curious.
Your buddy Jeff Kaplan didn't tell you all the stats for every map?
Yeah, but I don't. He didn't tell me that Cloud9 has good stats on this map.
That's a fair point.
So we've seen a lot of Kings Row and a lot of Gibraltar today. A lot of folks tend to pick these payload maps for one, than particularly these specific payload maps in general.
Yeah, Gibraltar is kind of an interesting one because it plays kind of differently than all the rest. Like this whole first checkpoint cushion thing is something you don't really see on the other maps. So like the car wash checkpoint that's under the underpass here, that actually originally was not a checkpoint. It was just more road that you had to get through in order to reach the first checkpoint outside of the hangar. So the fact that they altered the map to give you a little bit more time right there has kind of altered the way that you actually play the map. It seems like most people are content to just let the payload push all the way to that first point and then bring the hammer down when that choke point is a little bit tighter. So kind of interesting map design, and in knowing the history of the map and how it's changed it gives you a little extra glimpse there. But the attacking team, we do see Kai on Hanzo. That's something we have seen before. It's been a couple weeks, I think, since I've seen the attacking Hanzo. But Kai has shown us before that he's perfectly capable doing it. Right now he's on a second Reinhardt. It looks like they've got that Bastion comp lined up that we saw on Route 66 earlier today.
Oh god, here we go. Double Reinhardt protecting a Bastion. It's happening, guys. Really interesting stuff coming out of Cloud9. I never would have ever dreamt of this particular strategy, and I think it's actually forcing Reunited to get a bunch more aggressive than they normally would be otherwise. I mean, I think they probably called it out, like, oh, we just have to kill this, all we have to do is kill the Bastion, and this comp kind of falls apart, and it looks like Grego DC'd?
Looks like it. What are we gonna do? He is back now. I would say play it out since he was able to rejoin. Up to you.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'd have to defer to our admins. My personal opinion is if Reunited is cool with remaking, I think we should do it, but
I mean, they pushed during that period, so I think it's okay to just. I think you should just give the order to play it out.
Yeah. Oh lord.
It happens. It's beta. It's not your fault.
Yeah. I know. Anyway, the payload has been stopped under the checkpoint. It did make it. Oh wait, no, it's actually rolling backwards, so it's not quite to the checkpoint yet, guys.
You should type it
Cloud9 will be able to walk it up there in a sec.
You're the voice here. I don't want to type it. Just say play it out, and it should be fine.
They're playing. They're going.
Okay. Well, yeah. No one stopped playing. That's good.
Yeah.
And I think they've all
Beta esports
realized that they're going to keep going. So defense now all bunched up here around the corner, and you've got double Winston actually leaping in now. The Bastion payload comp did not last very long. Of course, the Grego DC may have changed that, but there's a big res bringing back another Winston. That's always nice for the attacking team, and Reaver has his sights set on the entry point, so I think they are going to get this checkpoint with quite a lot of time remaining.
All right, so after a slow start, the Bastion strat didn't work. They also lost one of their players for like 10 seconds, but we're back in, and Cloud9 is rolling through. No one's on the objective, though. So
yeah, no one actually pushing the payload. Once that door gets open, though, then they do get back there in time to push along. Debet and Kai both on Winston now, good payload pushers, and also good sniper disruptors, so too easy. Won't be able to just sit on top of the shuttle, for example. Reaver already aiming down the sights at that respawn entrance, and it does not get any kills on the way back in, though, so Reunited actually has a chance to defend the payload.
Yeah, and here's Reunited coming from 3 sides at once. They're on the payload, they're behind the payload, they're in front of the payload, and they're above the payload. And seems to be, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to coin this as Reunited's specialty. They have the ability to collapse from multiple angles as a team like almost no other team that I've seen before. And I'll be interested to see if we see any hero swaps on the attacking team. They're still sticking with 2 Winstons. They now have Reaver over on Widowmaker, and Widowmaker almost has her wall hacks ultimate up and ready. Debet is very aggressive indeed now with the Winston coming from behind. He's going to start zapping away from above, but really that's just tickling Reinhardt. That doesn't do much, but Reaver picks too easy through the door, and that's a huge pick. He kills the enemy Widowmaker. The monkeys are going ham.
And the rest fall like dominoes.
All dropping their ultimate at once. 2 for, of course, the attacking team, 1 for defending.
Cloud9 just had everything go their way, like you said, starting with that Reaver pick. The lightning gun from the top of the shuttle, something that I have not seen before, but it actually worked great just to distract the enemy team long enough. They all turned their sights towards Winston, and Reaver was able to get that kill. Then eventually, all the Winstons just went rage style and started slapping the crap out of everybody. Unfixed with the Death Blossom on top of the payload is going to sink a lot of damage into the attacking team. Debet was actually knocked down by the Earth Shatter. There's a big res in. May have wanted to wait a second, but then might have missed Kai, so unable to save for sure. But Mort alone there as Zen is going to fall to the Winston Lucio Mercy combo, and the payload will push. 6.5 minutes left for the last stretch and Cloud9's attack.
Yeah, really, really nice pace so far for Cloud9. They're working on what could be a really decent time if they can continue to push forward, and Reaver is going to try and let his team do that. Will he be able to get any kind of pick here? I think that they probably know that this point, this objective, we do tend to see a lot of Widowmaker, but we also have a flank coming, and it is coming from Surefour. So Surefour crouch walking, they can't hear him coming. So here comes Surefour, and Reaver's going to also be peeking. But actually now Surefour is rotating back to be with his team. But he is going to actually sink a few shots into the opponent's Reinhardt.
Oh, man.
Where did Reaver go?
McCree's all on his own, all the way in the back there. Reaver, I'm not sure where he is. He's actually by the spawn now. But McCree does eventually rejoin his team, actually. He stayed alive through all that, and now the offense is pushing forward once again. Surefour and Grego don't know about Unfixed right there. The Reaper, though. Reaper could get the jump on them. Vitaja too easy, and Unfixed scoring a couple of kills there, while Reaver gets a 2-piece snipe to help his team move forward. Reaper, Unfixed, finally goes down, and now they've got some momentum pushing on this payload again. It looks like they are going to switch some characters here for the defense as they push into this final spot. I see Reinhardt, Zarya, Zenyatta still, though, and McCree. There's a Winston leaping in. Earthshatter goes down from Winghaven. Lee charges away. Surefour has Deadeye up. He hasn't pulled the trigger just yet. It looks like he didn't find any kills. Defense had their sound barrier up for it, and now defense is in control of the payload, but they're still battling it out.
But if you look at the health bars, Cruz is almost dead. There's only Winghaven left. This is going to be it. Cloud9 is going to set a time, and it's going to be a great one.
Wow, Reaver all up in the kill feed there at the end. Just lots and lots of snipes as the players returning back to the payload to try to contest, and they can't do it. Once the payload gets to a certain point there, it's really, really hard to defend from those 2 tiny spawns.
Yep. I think Reaver has to be one of the most adept snipers in the scene right now, and we saw him pulling kills off not only on squishy support players, but also on tanks, and oh my god, what a spree by Reaver there. That allowed them to set the time, and wow, that was impressive.
6 minutes and 9 seconds, a very good time. The average, I would say, is probably closer to 8.5, 9 minutes, and 6:09 is tough to set a good time like that against a squad as good as Reunited. So even though Grego did DC at the beginning, he came back within about 10 or 15 seconds. They played it out, and they got a very respectable time here. Reunited, haven't seen them bust out the tracers yet today. We are on the NA server right now, so this may not be the time to pull them out yet, but Vitaja and Too Easy are just so good on the tracers. I'm surprised that we have not seen them out of Reunited all day. Usually when one tracer comes out, you start to see more and more, so we'll see if they switch it up at all. Unfixed looking at his Genji now, though. He's a good Genji.
I'm wondering, because are we not seeing Tracer because we've gone to Gibraltar and we've gone to Kings Row over and over again, and we've been on Hollywood on these maps where we tend to see slightly less Tracer? Like, I still feel that Tracer is a strong character, even with only 150 or 175 health. You know, I think she still can be used to great effect. So, I mean, we haven't seen a single control game yet in this tournament.
Right.
I would certainly expect that at least on control, Tracer would still be strong. But what do I know? I'm not a competitive player. I just watch a lot of matches and scrims and tournaments.
You're right, though. King of the Hill.
I'm actually really interested.
King of the Hill does lend itself toward Tracer, especially double Tracer. But right now, Surefour is on Tracer for defense. Unfixed going the way of Genji. Genji is actually a great choice here on Gibraltar, as there's a lot of vertical places that he can climb up, double jump up to, try and get at those snipers or what have you, hiding in the back. So Genji is a great choice here for Gibraltar. Tracer for Surefour is kind of interesting. I'm sure he's going to be looking for those healers, Grego and Adam, more often than not, but it'll be up to Debet and Kai to keep that Tracer at bay. Kai on Winston. Still a very good measure for stopping Tracers, especially with less Symmetra in play and less Harmony Orbs in play.
Okay,
oh, sorry,
so
I misspoke earlier. Surefour's not going to look for Grego and Adam. Those are his healers. He's looking for Mort and Cruz, of course.
So yes, here we do. Here we do have a Tracer in play now, and of course it's one of the best Tracers in the game of Overwatch, Surefour. This guy was known for his aim in previous games such as Dirty Bomb. I did shoutcast him a lot there. And now Tracer coming from behind, he's going to be training his sights on 2easy's head. But he's facing off against multiple now. I don't know, where did 2easy get to? Actually, 2easy pulled back, but nice stuff by Surefour. The aggression coming from behind, able to take out the sniper. Nice stuff.
All right, so far, good stop there from Cloud9. Offense will need to regroup. I can see Unfixed crouch walking as Genji, so no one knows he's there, but he's going to get unpleasantly surprised by Kai sneaking down behind him, and Unfixed will need to get out of there, dashing up to the top to join his team. There's no targets up there, but they will be able to stay together a little bit easier. Surefour going for the sniper, actually. Surefour is on 2easy duty, trying to get rid of that Widowmaker, and does so.
All right, so Winghaven is shielding the team as they come up through the top. Reunited deciding to take all of their players up top, except for one. It looks like there might be a Zarya. Okay, it's Zarya. I thought that she was flanking for a second. Nope, just coming from spawn. Unfixed is, of course, on the Genji, so we'll see if we can see some crazy Genji shenanigans. You know, Unfixed, an incredible DPS player, no matter what class he's playing, and he can play a lot of them. I'll tell you what. So this is actually a nice coordinated push, using Mort's Transcendence to push straight forward. Adam does get the revive on just one McCree, I believe. This has been a nice hold so far, but it does look like it's finally ending as... oh, actually, no! Surefour are able to take out Winghaven. Really, really nice stuff. So that's actually kind of a big deal, because I think that means that Cloud9 still has one more chance to push in here, and Winghaven won't be in the fray for another 15 seconds or more.
Only about 4 minutes left for Reunited to try and push here. Normally when you get a big wipe there, you need that payload to be pushing the whole time, and it just wasn't. They needed everybody to help actually clear the defense, and now they're stuck in that same position where they're not quite into the hangar. There's that beat drop for the defense, and a nice Earth Shatter as well. It actually helps Winghaven and Unfixed clean up the last defenders. Surefour on Tracer, of course, can blink in and out a couple of times, but does go down as well after dropping the Pulse Bomb. Does not secure any kills, and the hangar doors are now open with about 3.5 minutes left to actually push the entire rest of the distance here on Gibraltar. Otherwise, Cloud9 will win our second game.
Now, with only 3.5 minutes left, that more or less means that Reunited has to play so well. They can only really be wiped, I gotta say, 2 or 3 times at most. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for them. So they are pushing ahead comfortably so far. Stalemate, as neither team is even really damaging or tickling each other yet. But that Winghaven shield is going to be knocked down in a second here. We have 2 monkeys again. Still 2 monkeys for Surefour and his team, Cloud9, pushing forward. And it's going to be 2easy versus Debet. Debet doesn't care. He's got a shield. He's got his monkey brethren with him. So this should be an easy kill as 2easy now goes down. I didn't even mean to do that. And Cloud9 has retaken at least a decent posture on the point, although folks are continue to string in through the doorways for the attacking team, Reunited. And it's actually a weird prolonged battle at this point. I can't even really tell who's coming out on top, and I actually feel like Reunited almost overextended a little bit there. I feel like if they doubled back and met up with the rest of their teammates, they could have done a little bit better. But now Winghaven will surely perish, and the rest of the team might perish as well. Cruz is in a dangerous position. 2 monkeys charging forward. That's so scary, especially when you're a support player. You got 2 monkeys coming after you.
Yeah, I think Unfixed and Vayutaja are unable to really separate from the group. They're trying to clear out that payload itself, but something that we saw the difference in was Cloud9 actually took a more aggressive stance throughout this hangar phase. They had Reaver grappling onto the shuttle immediately, trying to shoot down at players returning from spawn, and they were not able to capitalize on any of the kills, Cloud9. So here they do hit a very, very big Graviton surge. There's deaths on both sides, but with the res and the sound barrier, Cloud9 are going to stay alive, and everyone is still there on that payload without Reunited able to even make a dent in that defense.
Yeah, now Reunited. What? They have 2.5 minutes to get to the final
Less now.
resting plate.
Like a minute.
Yeah. Oh wow, you're right. Wait. Yeah, you're right.
But either way, yeah,
Tiger
Reunited,
wins,
they really need another big push. Here they are coming through the top entrance here, and the defense is just shelling down from on top of the shuttle. Surefour actually on that soldier now, getting damage amped and healed as appropriate. Tibet and Kai staying together with those rage ults again. It seems like one or both of them always are in rage mode, and that's something that is actually pretty scary playing for the attacking team. Double Winston seems to be the most prevalent double up character that we've seen today, and it's doing a great job for Cloud9 on defense.
Yeah, really nice stuff by Cloud9. They've held it long enough, and we're going to 1-1 between these two powerhouse teams. Cloud9 hailing from North America and Reunited hailing from Europe, and that means we actually have to switch servers again, unfortunately. So hopefully we can do it a little bit quicker this time. We did clear up the confusion that the teams were having prior to this. So hopefully we can get into the next game super fast, but it's currently 1-1. And I think that these two teams were the two favorites to go to the very finals of this tournament. But this match matters. Even if these two teams do end up facing each other in the finals, whoever goes down to the loser bracket is at a huge disadvantage because they will have to reset the bracket when they come up from the lower bracket to face the winner bracket finalist. And of course, the winner of this is guaranteed at least $900. So a lot riding on this match.
Yeah, this will determine one of the top two teams in the tournament. Can I ask, what are our plans for the grand final? Is it going to be a bracket reset, or does the winner's bracket get some kind of advantage? Okay.
Yes, we talked to the teams, and with almost everything, we actually asked for the team's opinions on the matter and really tried to get a consensus. It didn't always happen, but we tried our best to get consensuses from the teams, and they decided that they wanted to have a bracket reset. So the winner's bracket, or the grand finals, is going to be a single best of 5. If the winner's bracket team wins, it'll be over with one best of 5. But for the loser's bracket team, they will have to win 2 best of 5s in a row to take the win.
As it should be.
Yep, pretty standard double elimination rules here.
And just to explain to the chat once again, we are switching servers out of fairness to the teams. Reunited is a European team, and Cloud9 is a North American team, so we are just hopping back and forth based on the winners and losers of each game. Loser picks, essentially, map, server, and side.
Yep. I suppose I am just thinking out loud right now, off the cuff. We could have done like more standard traditional sports models in playoffs. For, let's say, NBA, it'll be the higher seeded team will have the first game at their home court, and then you'll go to 2 at the away team, or 2 at the lower seeded team, then 2 more. Wait, am I doing this right? I can't remember which one it is, but basically we could have defined this earlier, so we didn't have to switch every map potentially, but yeah, no big deal.
Okay, just waiting for that lobby invite.
Imagine, are you over on Europe yet? Let's see if there's something here. No, you're here, you're here. All right, guys. It's currently tied up 1-1 in this best of 5. To take the set, either team will have to take 3 maps. So we still got a couple games headed your way. There is some chatter in the chat about the rule set we're using, stopwatch rules. And we covered this earlier in the day, but Blizzard just announced this week their kind of proposed format for competitive play. But we planned this tournament about 2 to 3 months ago originally, and we didn't feel it was appropriate to go back on our defined rule set at this point. So we are going to stick with stopwatch this time. Maybe next time we'll try something new.
Hope you guys have been enjoying the games today.
Yes, I certainly have. We've had some good ones. Most of them have been pretty decent, frankly. All the teams participating today are of a fairly high caliber, which was really the point here. And huge shout outs to ESL. It looks like they're done for the day. They've managed to host us with all of their viewers, so welcome to everybody joining us from the ESL stream. We hope you do enjoy our voices as well. Big shout outs to those guys, though. Thanks to Todd and Jason Kaplan for jumping in and running our secondary English stream. Much appreciate you guys pushing the scene forward. And it looks like same thing just happened with Ghosty Gamers. So Hex and ZP have closed out for the evening and have hosted us. So welcome everybody joining us from the Ghosty Gamers stream. It is just us, Joshy. It's time to carry the rest of the event out until the end.
Yeah, and it's, could be 3 more games, could only be 2. We'll have to find out as we continue on. We are missing 1 player from Cloud9. After they get in here, we should be able to fire it right off. But the next map will be Numbani for this best of 5 series. Tied 1 apiece at the moment.
And I guess is the Ghosty Gamers bracket up to date? I don't know. I guess I need to refresh again or something. Oh yeah, there we go. So IDDQD took a 2-0 lead win over LG. Sad for the Seagull and LG fans, but they did pretty well today. And then on the other side of the losers bracket, we did have Impulse 11 versus Liquid's Overwatch squad, and Impulse 11 did take the win. So that's actually a big, well, I wouldn't say a big upset, but that's a small upset in my opinion. Impulse 11, we ended up inviting them to the tourney basically this week, because first it was between G2 and Melty. We were going to have those 2 teams play for the final slot in the European side. Then G2 disbanded, which was a big shame. So it was going to be Melty. But then Melty had 2 of their players have real life commitments, so they had to drop out of the tournament. So Impulse 11 was kind of like the 3rd European team that we were considering for that final slot. So really nice to see them take a couple of wins, pad their pockets potentially if they can beat IDDQD and make it into the losers bracket final. Then we're looking pretty good heading into tomorrow.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we've got the final 4 matches of the tournament taking place tomorrow, and that will be again at 10 a.m. Pacific. Is that right, Ben?
Yes, that's correct. Same time as we started today, and actually, I think, I hate to say it, but I think we had a slight miscommunication with the side streams. The intention was to play all the way up into the loser bracket finals today. So actually, Impulse 11 versus IDDQD should still be happening. I don't know if one of the side streams wants to boot back up and cover that, or maybe we'll cover it after this. We'll see.
Oh, so tomorrow was only supposed to be 2 matches.
Yes.
Potentially
3 best of 3. Yeah, 3 best of 5s tomorrow, potentially, if the bracket got reset.
All right, well, we're going to get our admins sorting out that last match, but here we are back in the best of 5 finals. We are out the door now. We've got Reunited attacking into Numbani, and this time we do see the Tracer come out for 2 easy at least. Valutaja actually playing Roadhog to get us started.
All right, so
there's a Bastion on defense too.
Communicating with our admins, it looks like we're going to cast that match after this, Josh. I hope that's okay with you. A little bit more Overwatch coming after this best of 5.
Doesn't bother me. It's just interesting, but we do have the defense actually being warded backwards here. Surefour caught a Discord orb, so he's going to need to back off as Bastion. Cruz just needs to step on the point right there, and no one would be contesting. There we go. Defense is totally fractured in half right now with McCree, Grego, and Kai over on one side, and Bastion, Torbjorn, and Mercy over on the other. Neither of the defensive sides are really contesting right now. Finally, they do with that big defensive res, bringing back Reaver and Grego. And that's enough to keep them defending.
I think Surefour is, to this date, the only player we have ever seen in any tournament, in any phase of the beta, that's been able to make Bastion work. It didn't work last map when they tried it for like one push, but here it's working on defense. What? That's something you definitely wouldn't expect to see. And there's not even a shield or anything in front of him. He doesn't have a Reinhardt shield. So we're running with the double turrets. So we've got Torbjorn with his turret. We've got Bastion with his well, himself.
Mode.
He is a turret. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got Teleporter actually for defense behind the point.
It's the triple turrets. Build.
Oh. Big Earth Shatter there actually does get a kill with a follow-up Pulse Bomb, but now defense still looking in firm control. Unfix does have his Dragon Blade out, but he falls to the turret damage. It actually looks like the Torb turret took him out. Big res again from Mercy brings back Bastion and Torb. And the Teleporter still standing in the gift shop over here. Mort does not see it. It's actually around the corner from the gift shop, so good placement there from Symmetra, keeping the attackers from even finding it.
And both sides have teleporters now, so everybody's in on the point right away as soon as they die. And it's going to be, we're going to see some Tracer action for the first time for 2 easy. Zipping around, trying to do some damage. That sound barrier is going to basically hit all of the attacking team, which should be a decent advantage. The teleporter still up for the defending team, though, so they're going to be able to filter in quickly here. Adam switching to help out his friendly Torbjorn, going to keep healing that guy up as little Torbjorn doing damage, taking out Valutaja and 2 easy. Torbjorn, his primary fire is actually pretty good, guys.
And start shotgunning everybody instead. It worked out. Defense bought themselves some more time. The offensive teleporter actually used up all of its charges during that push, or was destroyed. I actually didn't see it get destroyed in the kill feed, so I think they did just use it up. But now the offense still rocking that Symmetra. Winghaven, rather than all of its charges during that push, or was destroyed. I actually didn't see it get destroyed in the kill feed, so I think they did just use it up. But now the offense still rocking that Symmetra. Winghaven, rather than the Reinhardt that we've come to know and love, sticking to that offensive Symmetra to provide 2 easy, just a smidge more health, 25 more health, and the rest of his team, of course. But Tracer has been the main beneficiary of that buff in weeks past. Now it's just a slight improvement over that 150 HP.
I feel like this is the pub stomper composition that Cloud9 have been running. They don't have a Bastion anymore, but Torbjorn, Symmetra, including the Bastion earlier, and the Sniper Widowmaker as well. This is how you pub stomp big time, and I hate facing off against this type of build if you don't have a really hyper-coordinated team. I mean, luckily, though, Reunited, coordination is the name of the game for these guys, so, but only 1 minute left, man. This has been an incredibly strong hold so far for Cloud9.
Yeah, I really like the fact that everyone is basically crossfiring each other. You've got Reaver as a hit scan player, McCree. You've got Surefour as hit scan soldier. You've got the Torb turret. The Bastion earlier was also working into this play where basically they've got the 4 corners of the point covered. Reaver is actually the most exposed right now as the lone McCree up here, but Mercy with her mobility allows her to just jump up to whichever ledge she wants in no time at all. Grego on the ground now trying to get some peeks down by the bus, but the offensive team is actually just kind of hanging out. They actually had Reaver kill Cruz there up in the top right and then back off.
One thing I want to call out about this Cloud9 squad is how flexible all of these individual players are. It's not Reaver playing Widow, this time it's Grego. It's not Surefour playing McCree, this time it's Reaver. You know, Kai is no longer playing tank, he is playing Symmetra. So an entirely fluid roster of players that can switch around to basically anything at any time. But first, looks like we have a decent advantage now for the defending team once again, and we're into overtime. So looks like Reunited may not be able to even capture the very first point here, although they're going to keep trying. They're going to keep extending that overtime, and they still have a chance, but they're just dropping like flies right now. Too easy. Has to pull out a miracle here. No, not able to do it. And Reunited is stumped on the first point.
Yeah, Grego just unchecked for much of that game. Whenever the focus was pulled onto Torb and McCree, for example, Grego would just go off. Whenever Grego was being focused, Soldier and Surefour would just start dishing damage. So again, just crossfiring this position from all four corners up on those ledges totally worked out. There's a big res from Adam at a turning point in the game there, but I'd say play of the game probably goes to Grego just for the constant damage output that he was able to keep.
Yeah, when Widowmaker goes unfettered, she is an absolute monster, and 38% of team deaths resurrected there by the Mercy for Cloud9, and it was only 6. That just shows you how few people actually died for Cloud9.
Yeah, good stuff there. Cloud9, very stout defense. All they've got to do is take point A here, and they can win map number 3, take the series back in their favor. How will they do it? What will Surefour play?
The one thing that's standing out to me right now, Joshy, is just how interesting the picks have been for Cloud9. You know, they have played standard sometimes, in fact, frequently. But the fact that they are pulling out these new, fresh builds, running with Bastions, running with Torbjorns. You know, we have seen Torbjorn on this first point plenty of times, so it's not unheard of. But they're willing to be flexible. They're willing to try 2 Reinhardts powering up a Bastion. And not a lot of teams are actually willing to deviate from the norm very often. You know, folks get really comfortable with specific team compositions and just stick with it time and time and time again. So I got to give major props to Cloud9 for mixing it up here.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing these players kind of settle into their roles. For example, Kai on Winston has just been making plays all day. Debet on Reinhardt has been making plays. But someone like Surefour is a very dangerous flex option. We've seen it as Genji, McCree, Soldier, Tracer. All the different offensive characters could come out at you. Reaver with a very good double threat between Widow and Pharah. Still very solid, consistent characters you'd expect to see, but you never know which look is going to get presented at you. And they're just very highly skilled, playing to the maps, playing to the objective as best they can, while the defense basically just getting picked apart. We'll see now as Reunited defends. Unfix is going to be playing that Junkrat again. Junkrat was very good on King's Row point A in the very similar way he is good here on Numbani point A. He's got all these ledges to work with. He can get away from you very easily and, of course, use those angles to his advantage. They don't have the same Torb, Soldier, Bastion setup to be able to crossfire the point. They are still playing the objective itself, though, not pushing up any further than they need to before starting to rain down some damage on that approaching Reinhardt. Here we go.
All right.
Offensive Bastion, though, Surefour.
Guys, offensive Bastion with Surefour, continuing to mix it up. And, I mean, he's going to be playing with Debet, who's an incredibly talented Reinhardt player, which makes a lot of sense. But
they're all behind the point
now. Look at this Cloud9 team. This is such a strange position for them to be in right now. Will it work? Well, at very least, they're pulling Reunited out of position completely. The first kills are going... Actually, kills are being traded both sides. What's going on here?
Yeah,
I can't even find them.
Unfixed stayed alive a long time. He's just been dishing out damage via Junkrat bombs into that hallway where all the Cloud9 players were. Now it's down to just Debet and Surefour being surrounded by 4 players of Reunited. Someone is actually on the objective, though. We've got Reinhardt, Debet just standing there while no members of the defense are stopping him. He could get this entire first tick himself, and he does. Debet, Reaver now showing up again, Surefour and Kai all in play. The first 2 ticks have, I think, been captured there. The second tick I'm not 100% sure about. Now definitely, as they move toward, and they've capped A. That's GG already being called out. And Cloud9 will take a 2-1 lead in this best-of-5 series. Super quick
indeed. Luckily, we can just go straight back to the lobby. We can go straight back to the lobby and continue this on. We don't need to switch servers.
I believe the lobby owner has a button. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. And we can hopefully get into the next game super quick. Oh, thanks to the 5,000 people tuned into the stream right now. What is up, everybody? You are tuned into the One Nation of Gamers Overwatch Invitational with over $3,000 on the line and a prize pool that's growing every minute. With your donations, type Matcherino in chat if you're interested in contributing to the prize pool. Huge shout-outs to our sponsors, One Nation of Gamers. And if you don't know what One Nation of Gamers does, they are a community-focused esports event planner that brings the pro experience within reach to up-and-coming players. They've done a lot in the Hearthstone space. They're currently running a $60,000 Geico-sponsored Hearthstone circuit with open tournaments for 1K as well. You can learn more at geico.onog.gg if you're interested in participating in their new player-friendly tournaments. And they were kind enough to be the title sponsors of this tournament, which means they're putting in over $3,000 of their own money. The rest of the money is coming, of course, from Invitational. And one thing I haven't actually talked about too much is one of my real goals, one of my strongest goals with this tournament was for it to kind of set the precedent for tournaments in the Overwatch space. So every single person who helped put this thing together, from graphics editors to stream producers to admins, to the folks who made the hype trailer, the hype video that you saw, to folks who helped make the browser plugin, to Josh, my co-host, everyone is going to get paid. So we set aside a little bit of money to make sure that everyone gets at least some compensation for the dozens of hours that a lot of folks have put into this. So it looks like we're going to get into the next game really shortly. Yay, I love it when there's no downtime. And it looks like we're finally going to see a control map, Josh. Who do you think this Lijiang Tower, who do you think this favors?
Oh man, favors the stronger tracers generally, but we're playing on EU, so yeah. I'll give the slight edge to Valutaja and Too Easy if they do go that route. I think even in the last couple of weeks, I haven't seen anything but the double tracer get pulled out on these King of the Hill maps. So we've got just a small break right now. We will be going into Lijiang Tower, our first King of the Hill map of the day of this whole tournament. And I think we're going to see a lot of erratic play. It's going to be very difficult to track what's going on typically. Soldier is also very popular in these King of the Hill maps in recent weeks. So whoever's got the most precise aim and whoever can stay alive longest on their tracers, I think it's gonna favor them. Debet and Kai are a really good tank duo typically on these King of the Hill maps. So I would look for potentially even a Roadhog to get pulled out, as Debet kind of made a name for himself as a really good Roadhog on these King of the Hill maps, yanking tracers out of thin air. We'll see if he goes for it.
Okay, first control point match of the day, and that's a little bit of a refresher. The pace on these maps, of course, frenetic, insane, crazy. Those are words that I'd use to explain a control point, especially when you got two teams that have such great DPS players. Of course, you know, potentially we're going to see lots of tracers, which we haven't seen all day. But we might not. Who knows? I mean, the Symmetra nerf was huge. It was a massive nerf. So really not sure what we're going to see yet. I do suspect Tracer will be played, but I guess I have no clue. It might just be oh god.
4 Soldier, 2 Lucio.
Oh, Lord.
I'm not gonna trust that.
Yeah, I want to see it though. Look, they all have the same costume except one.
They're all soldiers now.
Yeah.
They're all commander.
I actually hope that we see this. We might just see it.
2 seconds left. I think they're going to do it.
This is the fastest team ever. This is going to be the fastest team ever because 76 can dash and they're going to have speed boosts for days. So they're going to be able to get into the objective so much faster than the opponents. This is a ridiculous lineup. They got 2 kills already.
Funneling them. Already killed Too Easy and Cruz. They're funneling them into the ledge area, which is kind of interesting, and that's a strong area for Lucio, in fact, to be able to knock people off. So I like the sprint out. The 2 immediate kills, obviously very strong with all the Helix rockets, and taking your opponent by surprise definitely worked out for Cloud9. They're going to take the point for free to get us started here, while Reunited actually has to reform all the way back at their spawn.
Yeah, so I wonder how Reunited are going to fight against this. I mean, 4 soldiers, it doesn't actually sound like... I don't know if it has a weakness. I mean, these are hit-scan characters, as we do see Winghaven booped off the edge. 2 Lucios means double the booping, and this is a map where we do see so many people get sent into their doom. 3 players get shot up.
Whoa.
Forte with a quadruple kill as
Nasty.
Lucio.
Nasty stuff there.
Oh,
Yeah.
good God, Joshy.
Lucio's still the best support for King of the Hill maps, and we know why, because ledges exist essentially on all of them. Nepal and Li Jing and Ilios all have great ledges for Lucio to make use of, and that was probably the best boop that I've seen in competitive play. We've seen a couple of plays like that on Reddit in the past, but that was just a nasty knockoff there. And now we've got still just a lot of soldiers in Lucio's. There's a break it down for Reunited. The blue break it down lets them move forward, but now you hear attack visors going off for several members of Cloud9 pushing forward. They're just going to drill everything in their sight, not even close. Reaver and Kai just decimate everything in front of them, and they're going to recap that point very quickly.
All right, so Cloud9 back in control with good positioning to boot, and they're sticking with this composition. I've never seen this before, and like I said, I just can't really fathom if it has much of a weakness. I mean, there's got to be ways. I mean, maybe a Reinhardt shield. It seems like the Winston shields could be busted down so incredibly quickly. We do have defensive ultimates going down on both sides, as well as a nice Zarya ult, which should be able to get everyone bunched up enough to get a number of kills, and I guess that's how you beat it, with a flurry of ultimates of different kinds.
Yeah, it's interesting. The 4 soldiers don't really need to be clumped up quite so much, and they did get caught by that graviton surge. It was just an easy follow-up for the rest of the very standard composition to kind of cut through that. It looks like double Lucio, Zarya, McCree, Winston, actually double McCree again, Too Easy and Vitaja both on that McCree, similar to what we saw from IDDQD earlier today, but now the Winstons are leaping forward. There's a speed boost, there's sound barriers going off, there's tac visors going off, at least 2 of them for the offense. Vitaja had his Deadeye and did find a kill on Reaver, so defense is going to continue to stand here as Grego, Surefour, Kai, and Adam all fall, and last will be Debet on Lucio, still standing, but not able to do anything on his own. He finally goes down. Reunited.
Now, yeah, Reunited starting to look really strong, and with 77% ticked off, it's actually probably the last chance now for the soldiers. They're actually not playing all soldiers anymore. They do now have Surefour switching over to Tracer. Gonna zip around as much as he can. Reaver over on the Widowmaker. Surefour almost dies, but is able to rewind back in time. And Surefour is backcapping this by himself right now. He's facing off 1v1 versus Valyutaja, and he's gonna have Kai come to join him now. But the kills are going the way of Reunited so quickly here. Everyone on Surefour's team of Cloud9 is dropping, and that should be the first point, and an entertaining point for sure, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Lots of cool stuff happening
Insanity.
there. I really like, I gotta call out Reunited's strategy of hitting the speed boost and just flooding out into the point. They basically have nobody showing at the beginning, and then they all just appear and roll over the enemy like a tide. Surefour tried to backcap it there, but could not get it done against Valyutaja, but just really good coordination by Reunited. You'd think you'd be a bit demoralized losing that first push so handily, but the Graviton Surge came into play. I gotta give props to Unfixed. His Zarya shields were actually very on point. Anytime he heard the tac visors go on, he would shield Mort on Lucio and keep him alive throughout the fight. So nice awareness, good reflexes from everybody on the Reunited team, keeps them from losing what looked like it could have been a one-sided push.
Entirely different lineups now for Cloud9. They're switching it up again. The only thing that's the same is 2 Lucios, but now it's the 2-2-2. 2 Tracers, 2 Winstons, 2 Lucios for Cloud9. Let's see if this works out for them. How do you shoutcast this, Joshy? It's a bunch of apes shooting each other, a bunch of Tracers zipping around. I don't even know how to call this action.
I zoom way out and then focus on whatever's on the actual middle. So right now, for example, you've got Winghaven falling as the last member of Reunited, 3 members of Cloud9 standing there, Surefour and Reaver both on those Tracers that we mentioned much earlier. We do have 2 Tracers on either side, as well as 2 Lucios and 2 Winstons for the Cloud9 squad, which is very interesting. It is 2-2-2. We've seen this comp before, but it was with 2 Reapers, not 2 Tracers. So things shift, meta's cyclical. We'll probably see Zen and Genji come back eventually as well.
Yeah, I mean, there will be more balance patches too. Blizzard has been making significant balance updates on a week-to-week basis, which of course changes things as much or more than just shifts in the competitive meta. And look at all those kills going to the red team. Cloud9 in a dominant position so far. This will at least let them rack up to 50 or more percentage before Reunited even have a chance at coming back into the objective.
Yeah, this is the tricky part about
aggressive
King of the Hill maps. King of the Hill maps, you essentially, it doesn't even matter if you're contesting the point itself or not. If you're unable to take it over, that score is just going to keep ticking all the way up to 99% regardless. You can't really trigger any kind of overtime or contesting until 99, so unless you're going to flip it, you might as well regroup and allow yourself the chance to do just that. And Reunited took their time. They have moved forward now. The sound barrier actually missed a few members of Reunited. They were a little bit segmented, but they are starting to capture the point. There's that defensive one from Cloud9, but Adam falls immediately. No real pulse bombs catching anybody. There we go. Reaver actually finally getting a nice sticky. Valuetaja taking out Reaver. Means the last Tracer standing will be the Reunited squad taking out Grego here on the point. Maybe. No, Grego actually doing a great job with his parkour, just spinning around that middle point as long as he can.
And, oh, Adam's going to keep everyone alive, and we have 2 sound barriers now dropped for the Cloud9 team, and that looked like it was going in Reunited's favor for sure, but they were just able to survive long enough. You know, Winston's one of the few true tanks in this game, I feel, in that you have to focus your attention on him so much. When he pulls out his ultimate, he gets even more survivability. Of course, obviously, his shield gives him additional barrier protection. So Winston just saved the day there for Cloud9. But here, Reunited finally has recaptured control.
Yeah, they flipped it over on the backs of their Tracers. Not a whole lot of damage coming in otherwise. Cruz, who usually plays the Lucio, is actually on the Reaper, and he's got Death Blossom available, waiting for that nice pick. He actually drops down a bit early, though. Could have actually hit both Tracers, but unfortunately decided not to. Now he's going to come in, pop that Death Blossom while he has a Pulse Bomb on him, but he lives through it with the Sound Barrier. There's a second Pulse Bomb, and it does take out both Cruz and Winghaven there.
Oh my god, this is insanity. I think we just saw a Reaper get Sound Barrier, additional Sound Barrier health, survive a Pulse Bomb, which sent him flying in the air. He popped his ultimate, so he had a flying Reaper with his ultimate going. Like, what is going on here? This is madness.
Basically just a string of ultimates, offensive and defense, that results in Reunited maybe being able to take it back. Cruz is back on Tracer now off of Reaper, and Cruz is going to fall unfixed. The last Tracer standing for Reunited, that is going to start to tick down. Reunited did win the first point, though. If if Cloud9 takes the second point on Lijiang, we will just move into point C. So it's not all over yet for Reunited, but they don't want to lose this if they don't have to. Still dashing in as Tracer as often as they can, but not enough HP there and not getting enough kills. That, I think, is going to be it if Cruz does fall.
The Cruz still alive, though. Tracer is so tricky to kill. And is there one more chance to push in? No.
That's it. Unfixed got
Didn't
close
happen.
With the block, but not enough.
So 1-1. We go to the final point here on Lijiang Tower. And this is a crazy one indeed. The most direct route from your spawn to the objective entails you walking over a bridge, which puts you in a very dangerous position. You know, Pharah, concussive grenade, or of course the booping of Lucio can send lots and lots of people to the tomb. But nobody playing Pharah right now.
Yeah, this is it's a point with a lot of ledge space. Actually, you can knock people off just right next to the point. Even sometimes, if you get that horizontal concussive rocket, sometimes you can launch people off the hallway side. The bridges, of course, are very dangerous against all these Lucios already. No Pharah in the mix, as you mentioned, but Cruz already going down, Mort going down, Winghaven going down, and offense, Cloud9, the red team, actually in good shape here to try and take the point. They've lost only Kai, and now Debet up to this point. The Tracers battling it out once again to determine who is actually going to cap this thing first.
And I do apologize, guys. This composition that both teams are running, 2 Tracers, 2 Winston, 2 Lucios, it's very difficult to call the action. I mean, things change in a millisecond. A single Tracer bomb can take out 2 or 3 at once. And Tracer, she'll get, to 1 HP and then just teleport back. And then where did she go? I don't know. So we're going to do our best to call this for you. It does look Surefour able to get 2, and that's given a big advantage now to Cloud9. They should be able to capture the point, which hasn't even been captured yet. It's been in contention for such a long time, but it does look like Cloud9 finally going to grab it, and they will be the first team to start chipping away at percentage.
Yeah. that Tracer fight lasted so long that all the other players actually got back into the mix in time before the point was even captured. Cloud9 finally got the slew of kills that they needed to be able to take control of the point, and now it's on Reunited to reform here. Their tournament is at stake. Well, no, actually, they could fall to the lower bracket, but the winners' finals are at stake right here for this best of 5. If Cloud9 does win this point, only 80% to go, they will be waiting in the grand finals tomorrow. But right now, they're looking pretty good. We've got Winston ults going off left and right, a couple of sound barriers going out. I do see Tracers obviously continually just blinking around in the mix, providing the filler damage, so to speak. They find someone with low HP and go after them, trying to get all those executions. Valutaja trying to stick to the point, but unable to dish out the damage himself. Cruz is there and basically parkouring around the center column, trying to stay alive as long as he can, waiting for his teammates to get back. Those Winstons are going to be very important as the only real HP pool on Reunited. They get back into the fight, and now sound barrier from Mort gives them a small chance here. Nope.
Oh man, 3 sound barriers in a row. This is what you get when both teams are running the same composition, and it's a weird one. But Reunited does look like they're finally gaining an advantage here. They have all 6 of their members up and only 4 now for Cloud9, so they should be able to theoretically make this happen. Someone could try to contest. No contesting has happened, so Cloud9 has collected 69%. Reunited, though, fighting back.
Such a strange composition. Who thought that we were going to land on double Lucio, double Tracer, double Winston to decide the winners bracket finals here on Lijiang? And right now, it looks like no one really has an edge. Maybe Cloud9 with that more recent sound barrier. They do have a higher HP pool. Mort is falling in health very quickly. Cruz and Too Easy both being focused down as well. Looks like Cloud9 is going to out-sustain. Big heal coming in from the Lucios there, keep everybody in high health. And just this raging Winston here, Winghaven, trying to knock everyone off the point. It's kind of the last hope here for Reunited before they can clear him out as well and maybe flip it over to their side before Too Easy gets back in. Nope, Too Easy back. Cruz back, Mort's back. There's a pulse bomb out for Reaver, does miss entirely, and back onto the point. Surefour actually getting the majority of the kills. DeBet cleaning up means Cloud9 most likely going to be able to flip this.
Yeah, Reunited getting decimated here utterly and completely. Only one of them left. He will go down, and this is actually really dangerous. Reunited facing a potential loss here will get kicked down to the lower side of the bracket, which means that if they want a chance at the grand finals, they're going to have to win the next match that they play in the loser bracket finals, as well as win 2 best of 5s. They really don't want that. With only 15% left, they're going to push in right here and right now, and that's 3 kills already going the way of Cloud9. It's nigh impossible. It's going to have to be a Tracer Bomb, a miracle to keep Reunited's hopes alive here.
Yeah, no one actually standing Valutaja the last to fall for Reunited, 99%, 100%, and that's it. Cloud9 is going to take the series 3-1 over Reunited. But it's not enough to keep Reunited in the winners bracket. They are going to fall to the lower bracket and will face the winners of Impulse 11 and IDDQD. Well,
of course, the boop. Here it is. 3 into the pit, and then a 4th as well. Who said Lucio can't frag?
Brutal play of the game. But it's not enough to keep Reunited in the winners bracket. They are going to fall to the lower bracket and will face the winners of Impulse 11 and IDDQD. Well, Cloud9
guys.
just go